And we want to welcome you back to the 2022 inaugural version of our Coach's Corner, joined right now by the legendary head coach of Mater Dei High School football, Coach Rollinson. And Coach, it's been an absolute whirlwind the last 6 weeks, going back to Camp Monarch and getting the kids prepped, and then road trips. And here we are right after week 3, Labor Day weekend, and we're sitting at 3-0.
Well, you know what, Kevin, it's what we do. But you're right. I actually told my wife the other night, I said, where'd August go? It's just a blur. We had a great summer, and then they were excited to come back. And August 1st, first day in pads, I knew I had a good group. I like this football team a lot. They have a spirit. They have a confidence just permeates from them, and I thought we had a great camp. You know, our traditional prime rib dinner I thought was spectacular. Kind of centered them up. People thought I was crazy. We went up and scrimmaged Corona Centennial, and you know, it went well. One thing we'll do is we'll hustle and we'll hit. And then all of a sudden, I mean, we're lining up in the Monarch March at the Santa Ana Bowl on August 19th to play West. And boom, 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 Labor Day weekend, here we are.
It was amazing. You took care of business against West Utah out of Salt Lake City, and then you turn around and you head to Vegas to take on the number 5 team in the nation, Bishop Gorman, who is loaded with 3, 4, and 5-star athletes. 105-degree kickoff at Bishop Gorman High School. I mean, it gets hot in Corona, but I don't know that it's been that hot during their fall camp, and I think you guys were as prepared as any team to play in those conditions.
I felt good about that, but it was hotter. And then you know, talk to the offensive players you're going to do here in a few minutes, and the defensive players. For this old man, it was hotter in Corona than it was at Bishop Gorman. End of story. You know, I was soaked, and I was feeling it. I mean, I was popping Gatorades and popping water the whole game, and I don't think I went to the bathroom until 4 a.m. So.
Well, that was an old-fashioned, you know, Joey Trampush, Stephen Bodner, just pin the ears back with Jordan Davidson, your young sophomore running back. And man, can that young cat run downhill hard and physical and finish the run in a bad mood.
Yeah, I mean, we knew he was going to be special, and we have a lot of players. But here again, here's a 10th grader. And, you know, 140 yards later and physical runs, and it's hard to bring him down. And I thought Nate, for the time that he played, Nate was big in the Gorman game, because he adds a different, Nate Frazier adds a different element with his 10.7 speed. But he gets banged up on one run and gets a calf. He played a little bit longer, then it tightened up. So now it's on Jordan's back. But we also knew we'd be able to play action at that point, and racked up a few points on that one.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch. Dominant from stem to stern. Congratulations on 3-0. Let's go ahead and thank our sponsors coming back for the second consecutive year. Bear Dynasty, they've got their headquarters right down here on Edinger. They're also sponsoring the Pac-12 halftime show, and I think we've slipped them in a little bit for the Arizona State Sun Devil Radio broadcast as well. And then our man Healy is back with Hook or Crook. This is a fine cab reserve available at Bevmo and Costco. Want to thank Mr. Healy for coming back for his second year in a row. John and his son's taking a little break. He's just going to go play some golf and then come back and finish strong his senior campaign. So tell you what, we're going to take a break. We're coming back with Elijah Brown, the record-setting quarterback from Mater Dei. And the man on the outside, number 14, Jordan Onovughe, coming back right after this timeout on Coach's Corner. And we want to welcome you back to Coach's Corner. Kevin Turner with you. And we are joined by number 12, Elijah Brown, the record-setting quarterback coming out of the gates with his hair on fire again. And wide receiver, number 14 in your program, senior Jordan Onovughe. And a lot of you don't know Jordan. He's been here for 4 years. But Jordan, you and I were talking in the break, and I'm really proud of you because this is the first year you've actually been in the mix. I know we called your name a few times in the highlights last year. You got in the game late, but pretty amazing in today's day and age for you to stay committed and loyal to Mater Dei, and it's paying off here in your senior year. Talk about your journey.
My journey, I'd say it was a little challenging here and there. At least like with playing time or stuff like that, and being behind great guys from last year. But I just learned a lot. I knew what I can do in this program, so I just decided to stay and finish with my brothers. So
I love this guy's game. If you haven't seen him, you gotta YouTube him. Look at our website. Go back and review some of his tape. This is Terrell Owens. He is big. He's strong. He's physical, and what really caught my attention, and you've just gone off the charts the first few games. You've been very productive, catching everything that Elijah throws to you. But what caught my attention as a receiver is that you're not selfish, number one. Number two, when the ball goes to somebody else or it's a toss sweep, you're out there driving guys into lane 9. You are a very, very good blocker.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that development.
From just making sure that I'm a part of other teammates' big plays. I love blocking, making sure that I'm maximizing plays, making sure that no one's just getting hawked like the one because I forgot to block this one person. So I feel like it's been built into me like from a young age because I started off blocking like a lot. I used to play tight end when I was younger, so just blocking is always like a big part of my game. So I make sure to always try to be valuable and always be selfless. Yeah.
Elijah, when you throw the ball to this guy, do you sit back and kind of put a smile on your face and watch him just swatting guys away and how physical he is, run after catch, and all the yak yards that he picks up? It's got to be fun from your perspective.
No, most definitely. He's a great runner, great route runner. He gets open all the time. I can definitely count on him. And, nobody really knows about him from these last years. This is his first year starting. So it's definitely great to have a weapon like him on the field.
So you've got a really good complementary run game. You've got Nathaniel Frazier and you've got Jordan Davidson, two really good running backs. And how does that help you early on in the season when you're trying to get, your cadence and get your rhythm to have a running game that you can rely on?
It's great. That running game is really key to our offense because it opens up our pass game. So if things aren't working pass-wise, we can always count on the run.
Talk about the addition of your new receivers.
We got Jordan Onovughe. He's great outside. We have our sophomore, Marcus Harris. He's also great, our deep threat. And then Marcus Brown, he's been doing an amazing job. And then unfortunately, Jack Resser, I got hurt last game, the game before, but he's an amazing player too. And
then Spencer Shannon, your 6'8" tight end. I saw you try to hit him down the seam early on, and it was kind of interesting to see that he had a couple steps on the defensive back.
Right. He's going to be a great key. We just got to get just that chemistry down a little bit more, and then it'll start popping off right.
All right, let's talk about your offensive line anchored by B.J. Tolo, who's been in the trenches now for 3 years. Right. You've got a pretty good supporting cast up front.
No, definitely. I feel real safe back there dropping back, and they're great. Their run game is amazing, and I just can count on them.
Talk for a minute, and both you guys can jump in on this. The 3 stripes, a lot of people look at them on TV, but what does it really mean to be a Monarch? Take us back a couple weeks to that striping ceremony and what it was like to see some of the seniors get up for the last time to put those stripes on. And I'll start with you, Jordan. You're the senior. What was that all about?
It was great. It was emotional, I'd say. The stripes mean a lot to all of us, especially the seniors. Just that sacrifice for 4 years, just coming in day in, day out. Sometimes getting here at 7, leaving at 7. So, like really long days. Playing, competing, grinding, all that really comes into play. But under such a great coach, Coach Rollinson, that's what really separates us from the rest. So I feel like the 3 stripes just mean a lot to us seniors and the whole team.
Elijah, you're watching it as a junior. You've done it now 3 times.
Yeah.
Watching these seniors for the last time, what goes through your mind when you see them do it for the last time?
No, it's most definitely a lot of motion going around. Just when they go up there and have to explain like what the 3 stripes mean to them, you really start to understand how much like sacrifice and the opportunities that we actually have coming to this school and what it brings to us. And you kind of understand what some kids have to go through going here, and not knowing if they're going to play or not, and they just keep grinding and keep working. And so it's really it's a blessing to be able to witness that firsthand.
That was one thing we heard over and over last year when we did Coach's Corner, and the players would come up. I heard that word many times, blessing, to be a Mater Dei Monarch. You feel the same way, Jordan?
Oh, yes, sir. Most definitely.
So one last thing, and I'll let you guys go. I know you got it. This guy's got AP Physics coming up right after, so we got to get him out. 4.1. So for those of you that think Mater Dei is a football factory, we'll think again. Yes, we do excel on the football field. We've got guys going to Cooper Barcate at Harvard University.
Harvard, yeah.
You're going up to Stanford on a recruiting trip.
Yes, sir.
You're following David Bailey, who could have gone anywhere in the country and yet chose Stanford.
Yeah.
Excellent academicians here, as well as great athletes, and you guys are, I tip my hat to both of you guys in that regard, to be able to compete at such a high level and have the demands that you have to have when you come to play at Mater Dei, and that at a college prep school, score better than a 4.0 is unbelievable. And I couldn't be more proud of the young men that Coach and the staff and our school is producing here. So want to thank you guys for both stopping by, and continued success, continued blessings, stay healthy, and go Monarchs.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Elijah Brown, Jordan Onovughe, Mater Dei High School. We'll be back with the defense coming up right after this timeout. And we want to welcome you back to Coach's Corner. Kevin Turner. We're joined right now by 2 studs on the defensive side. Nasir Wyatt, wearing number 31, and number 55 in the middle, Leviticus. And men, thanks for stopping by to visit on Coach's Corner. And let's go to you, Nasir, the young sophomore. So
Yes,
big time football now here at Mater Dei. It's your time, and a couple of really good games that you guys have put together back to back, Bishop Gorman and Corona Centennial. And I was really excited to see you get some licks in, not only in your buck position as an outside linebacker, but also a big contributor on special teams.
Yes, sir.
So what is that mentality like when you come into this program? You got some time as a freshman, you go through the summer, you can kind of feel that you're going to be the guy and you're going to step into some pretty big shoes. Kind of what's that mentality, and when does it start? Does it start in spring? Does it start in the summer? Does it come to reality, the on the bus, the first trip to the bowl? Where does that mentality start that, hey, I'm going to be the guy this year?
It really just starts like right when David Bailey left. Like I knew like I might be the next guy up. So it really started during spring ball. I was kind of seeing the team come together, everybody grow, like with the brotherhood. So I was like, I may be having a big role in the defense, so I just had to step it up.
So your coach, Eric Johnson, played in the NFL. The defense comes from a tremendous pedigree going back to the great Miami Dolphins that went undefeated, Marion Campbell's defense with the Philadelphia Eagles. What's that like to be able to play for your coach that's got NFL pedigree?
I mean, it's real big, Coach EJ, he always got things to tell me when I mess up, or like I can know like knowledge. He's a real good coach. He's real in tune with all of us. His intensity is up there, and he's a good guy.
So this young man to your right, senior leader, Leviticus Sua, how important is it for you to model and to communicate with Leviticus so that you guys are aligned and on the same page come game night?
It's real important. Levi, he's a real big contribution to the defense. He's like the leader of the pack, and we all just got to follow what he do. And, you know, it's really nice to have him. Like, he mentors us. He actually engages with us like a real captain. And, you know, when it comes game day, we just try to make sure to all do our assignments, fill our gaps, stuff like that, so we can come out with the W.
So what did it feel like when you walked off the field after that Corona Centennial game and you guys, you know, got on that bus after a dominating performance? What was that ride like coming home?
You know, it was good. We all just like knew who we had next week and what we had to do this week, and just everybody just playing sound football, you know.
Leviticus, your thoughts on this young man, this young buck here, sophomore superstar?
Wyatt, man, he's a great player. He's a great outside backer to have. A lot of the times in the game, I know I won't have to worry about that side because I know Wyatt's out there. I know he's put the work in during practice, and I know that he knew when it's game time, it's time to go.
So you're the middle linebacker. You've got a lot of responsibility to corral the defense, to keep them up. You're making the calls in the middle. How much time actually goes into your preparation? Kind of take us through kind of the day in the week of, you know, the captain, the senior middle linebacker for this Mater Dei defense.
So a lot of my time going to film after school, or even like right after school before we head into our team film. I'll watch film by myself, or any free time after I finish homework, I'll try to get into film. And my dad, he's a really big help. He really helps me with film study. That's when they got me into film study, and just little small things like reading my keys and reading the guard, or reading tendencies of other teams and knowing how to react to it and how I'll attack it.
There are a lot of complexities. It can get very complex in a 3-4. You can dance back into a 4-3, and depending upon formation and pre-snap reads, there's a lot of stuff that you've got to process. But folks, this guy can do it. He is another 4.1 GPA. And Nasir, you're right underneath the 4.0, so pretty amazing. There's a lot on your plate as a student athlete. How are you guys able to manage the workload in a college prep program and then the demands of playing football here at Mater Dei?
I feel like it's just part of a lifestyle, and I feel like, yeah, sometimes it gets hard with the homework, all the practices, but I just try to remember the reason why I do it, for my family and for all the people that are supporting me. And I'm making a sacrifice, but I think about all the people that sacrificed to get me here. And once I think about them, it's easy.
So when you guys look at, now you're stepping into David Bailey's shoes, obviously a great role model. He could have gone anywhere in America, and he chooses to go to Stanford, which is a top 5 school academically in North America. By the way, a $38 billion endowment, so not a bad place to go to school and get a degree and do some networking. So how important is it to see a guy like David Bailey serve as a role model for you guys?
With Bailey serving as a role model, he's a really good person as well. You see him on the football field, but no one really sees him off the field. He's a great guy, really fun to be around, always really funny. I think he always tells me, like, it's the 40-year plan, not the 4-year plan. So he's really taking into consideration his future and the adventures he wants to do even after the NFL.
Nasir, what is it like to watch and to come into after David Bailey, and you're wearing his number, 31?
Yes, sir. You know, it's really just, he made me get more into like the academics, the whole thing. Like, it's not just football here at Mater Dei. You got to know what you got to do with the books inside the classroom. And I saw that with Bailey, so he made sure to make sure I was on top of my work, turn it in, going to office hours, just like looking at the whole school becomes mainly before football aspect of the whole thing. It was good having him.
Leviticus, I'll ask you first, and you're getting a lot of recruiting action. So you've got the demands of all these coaches hitting you up, you know, social media, LinkedIn, texting, emailing. How do you manage it? What's the protocol when a coach reaches out to you and your phone's blowing up, you know, at lunchtime?
Every time, no matter what division they're in or what coach it is, I just look at it as another opportunity for me to see a place that I could see myself going for the next 4 years, a place that could get me to where I want to be in the future, and that'll help me be successful.
So I'll let you guys go because I know you got a busy academic load and a busy week starting here right after Labor Day. But it is sort of, to me, what's intriguing about Mater Dei is the expectations that are set, and it's almost as if you got to win a national championship or it's not a successful season. So those expectations are set each and every year, and you guys have been part of those national championships or been in the sphere of influence of those great teams and the legacy of this program. Is it damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead, national championship or nothing? Is that the expectation day one coming in as a Monarch?
So the first day, we really just try to bring the team together. That's the biggest thing, because we can't get anywhere if the team's not together, we're not on the same page. And we really try to look at it one game at a time. Like, even when we know an opponent isn't as good as another, we'll still try to take it as another game and play it week by week, and play by play, and down by down.
Well, great. That wasn't a trick question, but that's kind of the answer that I think your coach wants to hear. You know, the fans are like, you know, we get a little geeked up, and we're already thinking about St. John Bosco, but I know there's a lot of work and a lot of development that needs to take place before that game. And guys, thanks for stopping by to join us this afternoon, and best of luck and continued blessings. And Nasir Wyatt, number 31, sophomore outside linebacker, and the captain in the middle. Leviticus Sua wearing number 55. We'll come back with the coach and wrap it up right here on Coach's Corner. And welcome back to our final segment here on Coach's Corner. And Coach, every year I think it can't get any better than this. Yeah. And these four young men here, what incredible examples of what the three stripes represent, and then they extend beyond the football field, all averaging a 4.0 or better grade point average. You got to be proud of that.
You know what, Kevin? There's the program in a nutshell, and I am proud of them. And we're going to bring different players, different personalities, and I'll put any one of them in the chair, and they know what this high school's all about. They've drank the Kool-Aid. They're Monarchs, and I think that's what's exciting, and you do such a great job with them. But again, there they are, the same kids that are gonna score touchdowns, get great blocks, and in Wyatt and Leviticus case, they're gonna take some people's heads off, but. Yeah. They're good kids.
Just a reminder that this is all brought to you in part by Bear Dynasty Paint and Hooker by Crook Field Reserve Cab. And what you want to do, folks, you want to paint first before you drink. You don't want to inverse that relationship there. So I want to thank our good friends at Bear Paint and Hooker Crook Field Reserve Cabernet for sponsoring Coach's Corner again. Coach, let's just wrap this thing up. I saw one of your Instagram posts. It was amazing. On Saturday, it had a picture of the United States map, and it showed 60 players on a locator map in their colleges, 45 different colleges, former three-stripers, 60 of them right now playing college football. You got to be proud of that as well.
No, it's absolutely fascinating to me, and it's like time goes by so fast. All of a sudden, I'm going, this kid's playing there, and he's been there for 2 years. But the greatest thing, Kevin, we turn on any game, there's a Monarch there. I rest my case. We're doing the right thing, because you don't get there if you don't have the academics. And these kids work hard to get themselves the opportunity, like Leviticus said. Every college coach he contacts, because he sees it as an opportunity. Those 60 men took advantage of what Mater Dei High School had to offer, and now their dreams are coming true.
Hate to single out one particular Monarch, but I'm going to. Number 14 for USC. He's been getting a lot of hype in the pregame, and there is Rayleigh Brown dancing into the end zone, slides in, bounces up, and does I think it's just the way he kind of got up, but it sure did look like a Heisman
No,
pose.
It's not the way he got up. It's Rayleigh, man. And that's why he was so much fun. You never knew what you were going to get. I mean, he'd spin balls in practice, but he makes big plays, and he's a great kid. And I'm proud of him. He had to work hard for his academic success here. You and I knew, it's just the Trojan fans are going to be electrified by what that kid's capable of doing.
Yeah, it should be fun. And I want to thank you personally as a new role as part of the Arizona State Sun Devil radio broadcast team, and Coach was kind enough to spend a lot of time with X's and O's. I've moved into more of an analyst role. Eric Johnson and former Arizona State record-setting quarterback Taylor Kelly getting me reacclimated to all the different route progressions and pass protection schemes. So I want to thank you and your staff for helping me light it up last Thursday night. It was a big help.
No, that was fun. That was a fun Saturday for all of us. And they were showing off a little bit. Yeah. Let's cut it, I mean, they were having some fun. But then you hear me, and I'll close by saying this. Did you feel their passion? Did you feel not just their knowledge, but their passion for what they do?
They're true professionals. And I would put this staff up against any staff at any level in America. And you've got to be very thankful and grateful to have such great men that got your back here with this program.
That's why I said earlier I had fun at Bishop Gorman. I wasn't worried. The ball was in good hands.
All right, for all of us here at MDTV and everybody behind the scenes, Coach, take us out, baby.
Rock and roll, baby.
Till next time, we'll see you. For the Coach, I'm Kevin Turner. We'll see you next week.